What if I told you there is a hidden switch right inside your wrist that could send a calming wave through your entire body in less than a minute? Most people live their whole lives without ever touching it, without ever knowing that the very peace they've been searching for, through pills, through restless nights, through endless thoughts, was sitting right here quietly waiting under their skin. Take a breath with me now, slowly in and slowly out. Do you feel how your shoulders already begin to drop, how your chest feels just a little lighter, just from that pause? Now imagine that calm multiplying 10 times deeper, flowing like warm golden light from your wrist into your heart, into your mind, into every cell of your being. Tell me, where are you watching this from right now? Are you sitting in the quiet of your living room, maybe resting in bed after a long day, or perhaps outside with the sounds of life moving around you? Wherever you are, know this: calmness is not somewhere far away. It's within your body, waiting to be awakened. Ancient healers once whispered about this point. They saw it as a sacred doorway, a channel to the inner stillness that connects body and spirit. They believed a single touch here could ease the storms of the heart and quiet the restless mind. Today, science has given it a new name. It is part of the vast nervous system, a thread in the web that connects directly to the vagus nerve, the great messenger of peace inside your body. Imagine this with me for just a moment. You bring 2 fingers gently to your wrist. You press lightly between the tendons, and suddenly you feel a subtle shift. Some people describe it as a soft tingling, others as a gentle warmth, and some say it feels like silence itself begins to move through them, as though the body has remembered a forgotten language of calm. But here is the truth. Most people never discover it. They rush, they push, they drown their bodies in noise, and they never pause long enough to listen to what has been quietly waiting within them. Maybe you know that feeling too, that heavy breath that won't release, the racing heart that doesn't slow, the endless loop of worry that doesn't let you rest. What if the key was always here, resting in your wrist? Stay with me, because in this journey, you will not only learn exactly where this point lies, but how to unlock it, step by step, so you can send a signal straight to your vagus nerve and awaken the deep calm your body has been craving. Before we begin the practice, pause for just a moment. If your spirit already feels drawn here, trust it. Tap subscribe to the Spine Gospel, whisper a gentle yes in your heart, and let this be your quiet first step toward the awakening your body has always known. Now, let's unlock it together. You have touched your wrist countless times. Fastening a watch, checking your pulse, or simply resting your hand on a table. But never like this. Because hidden in this very spot is not just skin, not just veins, not just flesh. It is a doorway, a subtle passage where the body whispers to the mind and the mind surrenders to the heart. It may look like nothing more than a simple press of fingers, but what if I told you that this single touch can quiet storms inside you? That behind this humble act lies a wisdom older than memory itself. This is not magic in the sense of illusions. It is a forgotten science, a sacred bridge between the physical and the unseen. Long before modern science gave names to neurons and pathways, ancient healers had already discovered the hidden power of this wrist point. In Chinese medicine, it is known as pericardium 6, a point believed to calm the racing heart, steady anxious breath, and restore balance when the soul feels restless. Physicians of old didn't see it as muscle and bone. They saw it as a gate of energy, a channel through which harmony could return to the body. Ayurveda, the healing science of India, speaks of nadis and marma points, the subtle highways of life force. On the wrist lies one such marma, said to carry currents directly to the heart space, the seat of emotions and inner peace. Ancient practitioners would press gently here during rituals of healing, as if pressing a silent key that unlocked the body's own music. Even the Egyptians and Greeks spoke of the body as a sacred map. To them, pressing certain points was not only medicine, it was ritual. Imagine a temple healer placing 2 fingers on a seeker's wrist, whispering prayers, and letting calm seep in like light through stone. This wrist point became not just a technique, but a ceremony of presence. Today, science gives language to what ancient hands already knew. Just beneath the surface of your wrist runs a highway of nerves and vessels. When you press this particular point, signals travel inward, influencing the nervous system. One of the most fascinating connections here is with the vagus nerve, the great messenger between body and brain. Think of the vagus nerve as a bridge. On one side stands the storm of your racing thoughts, your restless heartbeat, your shallow breath. On the other side lies an ocean of calm. When you stimulate this wrist point, it is like sending a gentle message across that bridge. It is safe now. You can rest. This is not an abstract idea. It is the body's own wiring. Just as flipping a switch changes a room from darkness to light, pressing this wrist point can shift the body from fight and flight into rest and heal. Science calls this the parasympathetic response. The ancients simply called it balance. Imagine, you are overwhelmed, your breath uneven, your chest heavy. You place 2 fingers on your wrist, apply gentle pressure, and within moments your breathing deepens, your heartbeat steadies, and a quiet presence begins to return. The storm does not vanish, but its waves no longer drown you, and yet despite its power, most of us walk through life unaware of this secret. Why? Because the modern world trains us to look outward. We reach for pills, distractions, endless screens, forgetting that within us lie tools far older and often far gentler. We rush, we scroll, we silence the body's whispers until they become screams. But few realize that peace does not always come from outside. Sometimes it lives in the smallest gestures, like the simple act of pressing a point on your wrist. Perhaps you too have searched for calm in all the usual places, never knowing that the answer might have been pulsing quietly beneath your skin all along. There is another layer to this story, one that science cannot fully measure. The wrist is often called the gateway of the heart. It is here that blood flows, out from the heart, carrying life to every part of you. It is here that healers believed spirit and body intertwine. When you press this point, you are not only calming nerves, you are symbolically opening the door to your own inner silence. It is as though you are gently knocking on the heart itself, asking it to soften, to slow, to return you to yourself. In many traditions, this simple press was more than technique. It was prayer, a silent reminder that within you lies a sanctuary untouched by the noise of the world. Have you ever pressed a spot on your body, maybe unknowingly, and suddenly felt lighter, calmer, as if a burden had quietly lifted? That is the body's way of speaking to you, and this mystery deepens even further, because this small point on your wrist does not act alone. It is connected to one of the most powerful networks in your entire body, a hidden nerve that shapes your emotions, your breath, even your sense of peace. To understand it, we must journey deeper into the story of the vagus nerve. Have you ever wondered why something as simple as a breath or the gentle touch of your wrist can calm your entire body? Why does one tiny action ripple through you like waves on water? The answer is not just in muscles or skin. It lives in one of the most mysterious and powerful nerves of your body, the vagus nerve. This is where our journey now turns. You've already touched the hidden point on your wrist. You've already felt that gentle current of calm. But the deeper question is, what makes this point so powerful? What is happening beneath the skin, within the silent systems of the body, that can awaken such profound peace? The truth is breathtaking. The vagus nerve is not just a nerve, it is the great hidden highway of calm, stretching from your brain, down through your chest, weaving through your heart, your lungs, your stomach, even your intestines. It is the living thread that ties your body together, the messenger between your mind and your soul. What if a single nerve inside you held the secret, not only to peace, but also to healing, balance, and even spiritual awakening? The vagus nerve begins at the base of your brain, in the brainstem, and travels downward like a golden river branching into many streams. Along its path, it sends quiet signals that guide your heartbeat, your breathing, your digestion, and even the way your body responds to stress. Science calls it the 10th cranial nerve, the longest cranial nerve of all. But the length of the vagus is not what makes it important. It's what it does. Whenever you take a deep breath and feel your shoulders relax, it's because the vagus nerve is telling your body it's safe. You can rest now. When your heart begins to slow after a moment of fear, that's the vagus nerve, whispering peace into your system. Doctors and scientists call this the parasympathetic state, the opposite of fight or flight. It is also known as rest and digest, but it is far more than that. It is the state where your body repairs itself, where your immune system grows stronger, where your mind clears. Think of the vagus as a river carrying messages of peace. When it flows freely, the body feels light, open, and calm. When it is blocked or weak, the body is tense, restless, and filled with unease. Have you ever noticed that when you take 3 slow breaths, your heart feels lighter, your mind clearer? That is not imagination. That is the vagus nerve at work, silently, faithfully, every single moment of your life. Now, while science speaks of nerves and signals, ancient healers spoke of something deeper. They may not have named it the vagus, but they knew it existed. In India, sages spoke of the Sushumna Nadi, a central channel of energy that carried the life force up the body, connecting mind, breath, and spirit. To them, activating this pathway was a way to awaken hidden power and inner silence. In Egypt, healers described the body as a temple where divine currents flowed through invisible pathways. They spoke of breath as a sacred gift from the gods, a way to touch the eternal. The Greeks called it pneuma, the breath of life. They believed this breath carried the soul's essence, traveling through the body like wind through a flute, creating harmony or chaos, depending on how it flowed. Isn't it extraordinary that across so many cultures, across thousands of years, people describe something that today's science finally confirms? The vagus nerve, the serpent of calmness coiled inside us, has always been there, always waiting for us to listen. When you press gently on your wrist and awaken this nerve, you are not just performing a modern relaxation trick, you are stepping into a river of wisdom that mystics have always known. But let us go deeper. What happens when the vagus nerve awakens? Science says it lowers stress hormones, reduces inflammation, and balances heart rhythms. But spiritually, something else happens. Silence begins to rise inside you. It is like striking a sacred bell and letting its sound echo through every chamber of your being. You feel not just calm, but released, as though a weight you never knew you carried suddenly dissolves. Some people describe tears flowing without reason. Others feel tingling across their skin. Some feel an opening in their chest, as though their heart is breathing for the first time. The vagus nerve does not just soothe the body, it touches the emotions hidden in the body. It can bring release, clarity, and a sense of returning home to yourself. Have you ever asked yourself, what would my life feel like if I lived in this calm every day? That is the true gift of this hidden nerve. It is not only science, not only biology, it is a bridge between fear and peace, between body and soul. In our modern world, stress is constant. Phones, noise, deadlines, endless worries. They keep our bodies locked in fight or flight. That is why so many people struggle with poor sleep, anxiety, digestive issues, even constant fatigue. But here lies the secret. Much of this is not because the body is broken. It is because the vagus nerve is quiet, neglected, forgotten. When you awaken it, through breath, touch, or the wrist point technique, you restore balance. You remind your body that it is safe, that it can rest, that it can heal itself. Instead of reaching for caffeine to stay awake or pills to fall asleep, imagine finding the answer inside your own nervous system. Imagine pressing one point on your wrist and feeling your body sigh with relief. That is not magic. That is your body's design. So what happens if you could learn to awaken this nerve not just once, but every day? What if you could unlock this secret power whenever you needed it? Before sleep, during stress, even in moments of deep prayer or meditation? Stay with me, because in the next part, we will gently step into the practice itself. I'll guide you, slowly, step by step, showing you how to use your own hands, your own breath, and your own imagination to activate this ancient key. But first, pause with me now. Place your hand on your heart, take one slow breath, and tell me, what did you feel? Share it in the comments below. Was it peace, warmth, or something else? I would love to hear your experience. Now that you've begun to understand the mystery of the vagus nerve, let us take the next step together. Knowledge alone is powerful, but when you embody it, when you feel it in your own hands and breath, something shifts. Imagine that your hands are not just skin and bone, but keys that can unlock a hidden doorway within you. That doorway leads to calm, to balance, to an ancient silence that lives deep in your nervous system. So let's move slowly. There is no rush. Your body loves patience. Your nervous system listens best when you whisper, not when you push. I invite you now to bring your awareness to your wrist. Look at your hand gently, as if you were looking at an old friend. Turn your palm upward and let the inside of your wrist face you. With your other hand, place 2 fingers, the index and the middle finger, on the soft skin just below the base of your thumb. Rest them there lightly. Do not press yet. Simply feel, wait. Beneath your fingers you will notice something subtle, something steady, the gentle rhythm of life itself. That pulse you feel is not just blood rushing, it is your heartbeat echoing through your entire body, carrying messages to every cell. Some call it biology, others call it the rhythm of the soul. Can you feel it? Even if it's faint, even if you only sense a whisper of movement, stay with it. If you do, write yes in the comments. That yes is not just to me, but to your own body, your own journey. Now press gently, not too hard, not forceful, just enough to feel a connection. Imagine your fingers as antennas touching a secret current hidden inside. Hold this soft pressure for about 10 to 20 seconds. As you do, let your breath slow down. Inhale deeply through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for a moment, then exhale gently through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice the shift. With each breath, imagine that a golden light is flowing from your wrist, traveling upward into your heart. From your heart, let it spread upward into your head, downward into your stomach, outward into your arms and legs. Your whole body begins to glow from the inside. Some people describe it as warmth, some as tingling, some as a quiet release, as though an old weight is finally lifting. This is not imagination alone. Science tells us that the vagus nerve responds to this gentle stimulation, and your long, slow exhalations send signals of safety to your body. Mystics would say the same in another language. They would tell you that with every breath you are reminding your soul it is home. Stay here for a few breaths. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. Notice if your shoulders drop. Notice if your chest softens. Notice if your mind feels a little lighter. Even a small shift is a sign that your body is listening. Let's deepen it now. Continue to press lightly, but add a rhythm to your breathing. Inhale for 4 counts. Exhale for 6. With each exhale, imagine letting go of tension, like releasing stones from your hands. Each inhale gathers light, each exhale empties weight. This simple act, the press of a wrist, the rhythm of a breath, is one of the oldest and most natural ways to soothe the vagus nerve. You may also wish to explore posture. Sit comfortably with your spine gently straight, not stiff. Let your shoulders relax. Imagine yourself as a temple, open and still. If you prefer, you can also lie down, resting your hands softly on your body as you continue. There is no right or wrong, only what feels natural to you. Now let's add 2 gentle variations. If holding pressure feels too still, you can try a soft tapping. With your fingers on the wrist point, tap lightly in rhythm with your breath. Each tap is like knocking on the door of calm, inviting it to open wider. Another variation is a slow, circular massage. With your fingertip, trace tiny circles over the point as you breathe. Imagine spirals of light moving through your wrist into the rest of your body. Both ways awaken the vagus nerve. Both ways calm the nervous system, but one may feel more natural to you. Try them on different days or in different moods. Sometimes the body prefers tapping, sometimes it prefers stillness. Trust your own experience. Now pause for a moment, release your wrist and simply sit in stillness. How does your body feel? Is there warmth? Is there calm? Perhaps a quiet release, or maybe a lightness in your chest. Each response is sacred. Each sensation is your body's way of speaking to you. If you notice something, share it with me in the comments, not just for me, but because when you write it, you honor the voice of your own body. Remember, this practice is simple but powerful. It is not about force, it is about listening. It is not about doing more, it is about doing less slowly, with awareness. You are not fixing yourself, you are allowing your body to remember what it already knows. What you have just felt is only the beginning. This is the outer doorway. Behind it lies something deeper, the emotional and spiritual shifts that come when the vagus nerve begins to awaken fully. We are about to step into that next realm together. But before we do, take one last breath with me. Inhale deeply, exhale softly. Place your hand on your heart and whisper a thank you to your body, to your spirit, to the quiet intelligence that lives within you. The gentle pressure you applied just moments ago has already begun its journey. Like a ripple traveling across a silent lake, that subtle signal from your wrist is moving inward, deeper and deeper, searching for its destination. What began as the soft touch of your fingertips is now unfolding into a response. A quiet answer rising from within. Imagine this signal as a traveler walking along the hidden highways of your body. It flows through narrow corridors of nerves, gliding past the rivers of blood, leaving a trail of golden light in its wake. Sometimes it hums as a vibration, sometimes it flickers as a soft flame. But always it keeps moving with purpose, and then it reaches the sacred passage that lies at the center of so many mysteries, the vagus nerve. This is no ordinary nerve. It is a bridge, a shining thread connecting heart to stomach, body to soul, and your body in turn begins to respond. The first thing you notice is a gentle slowing of the heart, as if someone whispered to it, "You don't have to rush anymore. Beat softly. Beat calmly." Your breath begins to change too. It deepens, steadies, like the rhythm of ocean waves. At dusk, the weight clinging to your shoulders starts to dissolve, one knot at a time, and the tightness in your muscles loosens as though they've been waiting for this permission to let go. Deep within, the uneasiness in your gut begins to ease, as if a hidden storm is finally laying itself to rest. Science tells us that the vagus nerve directly connects to the heart and the gut. When you activate it, it sends a signal that whispers, "Slow down, be still, come back into balance." But spirituality has always offered another story, one that says this is more than biology. This is your inner temple, a sacred instrument that plays the music of your soul when you are willing to listen. And as this sacred instrument hums, your emotions start to melt. Anxiety begins to soften. Fear loosens its grip, and restlessness gives way to a deep exhale of relief. It is like standing outside after a heavy storm, when the first drops of rain sink into the dry earth, and the air fills with the fragrance of renewal. That same fragrance now spreads through your emotions. The heaviness on your chest is lifted. The inner restlessness that kept you spinning now slips away like wind through an open window. And what replaces it is a grounding presence, as if the earth itself has placed a hand beneath you, holding you steady. Think for a moment. Have you ever noticed how a single deep breath changed everything? Maybe it was before an exam, or right before an important conversation, or in a moment when you felt like the world was collapsing. And yet just one breath created a pause, a shift, a chance to stand again. That was your vagus nerve answering your call, guiding you back to stillness. But what is happening here is not only physical, it is also spiritual. This nerve is like a sacred thread woven through your body, connecting every part of your being to the quiet center of your soul. Ancient wisdom has always spoken of such pathways, bridges between the human and the divine. The vagus nerve is one such bridge, carrying messages not just of calm, but of communion. By touching it, by awakening it, you are not only calming your body, you are shifting your vibration. You are tuning into a higher frequency, one where your body and spirit begin to sing together. Imagine a hidden choir rising inside you, each heartbeat a drum, each breath a hymn, until your whole being becomes a song of peace. This is the inner gospel your body carries, the quiet voice that says, "You are not alone." Your body and soul are walking together in harmony and trust, and with every pulse, with every breath, that voice grows clearer, inviting you deeper. And now, as this calm begins to unfold within you, a new question arises. Can you carry this calm deeper into the soul itself? Can this sacred nerve not only release your body, but awaken the inner light, waiting in silence? That journey is about to begin. If such deep calm can rise from a single touch, a natural question unfolds. How did the ancients already know this secret? For what you have just awakened within yourself is not something newly invented. It is part of a map, an ancient design, hidden within your very body. Imagine the healers who walked this earth thousands of years ago. They had no machines, no microscopes, no complex scans, and yet they understood. They placed fingers upon the wrist and felt more than a pulse. They felt a doorway. In ancient China, this point was honored as a place of balance, a pressure spot they called pericardium 6, used to ease the heart, calm the spirit, and quiet the storms of anxiety. Thousands of years later, science would confirm that stimulation of this exact spot affects the same pathways we now call the vagus nerve. Meanwhile, in India, the sages of Ayurveda spoke of nadis, subtle energy channels weaving through the body like rivers of light. They said, pressing certain points opened the flow of prana, the life force, restoring harmony when the currents of energy had grown chaotic. The wrist was seen as one such place, a crossing of currents where touch could set the whole river back into motion. Even in Egypt, where medicine and mysticism were one, scrolls and carvings hinted at the wrist as a symbolic gate. It was drawn not only as a joint of flesh and bone, but as a keyhole, a passage through which healing currents could be unlocked. Healers would bind simple bands around the wrists, believing they anchored the flow of energy, protecting the soul from imbalance. Across cultures, across continents, the story was the same. Different languages, different symbols, but one blueprint, etched not on parchment or stone, but into the very fabric of the human body. The wrist, a gateway. The nerve, a sacred thread. The outcome, always the same. Calm, restoration, a remembering of who we are. And while these traditions used poetic metaphors, modern science has arrived with its own language. Where sages once spoke of the river of spirit, researchers now describe the parasympathetic nervous system. Where mystics described the thread between body and soul, doctors point to the vagus nerve, the great communicator linking heart, lungs, and gut. Both are telling the same story, just through different tongues. When you press this point on your wrist, tiny signals race up the nerve fibers, whispering to your brain, slow down, release, heal. Your heart listens, your gut listens, your breath listens, and slowly the entire system obeys. This is why modern doctors are now exploring vagus nerve stimulation for depression, anxiety, even chronic illness, because what ancient healers touched with intuition, science is only now naming with precision. But here is the beauty. The blueprint never disappeared. It was never lost. It was simply waiting, resting quietly inside you, for the moment you remembered how to read it. Pause with me here. Look at your wrist. For most of your life, you may have thought of it as ordinary. Just a place where you wear a watch, or a bracelet, or where your pulse beats beneath the skin. But what if it is more? What if it is a compass, designed to always point you back to your center when you have drifted too far? What if, in every moment of stress, your wrist was silently whispering, touch here and return home? Your body is not just flesh and bone, it is a sacred map. Every nerve is a river, every breath is a bridge, every point a doorway. And this doorway on your wrist is one of the clearest paths back to balance. It is a reminder that calm was never outside of you. It was etched into your design from the very beginning. Think of this for a moment. If your body carried such a hidden map all along, how would your life change knowing you could read it? Would you fear less? Would you trust more? Would you carry a lighter heart into your days? Tell me in the comments, what do you think your life would feel like if you trusted this map more fully? Perhaps this was the gift the ancients tried to leave for us, not only in temples and scrolls, but in our very biology. A divine blueprint etched not into stone tablets, but into the flesh of every man, woman, and child. A living gospel written into nerves and fibers, waiting for our fingertips to trace the letters once again. And so, pressing here is not just a technique. It is a remembering that the same wisdom that guided the healers of China, the sages of India, and the priests of Egypt also flows through you right now, in this moment. And if such a map exists, if such a blueprint is truly alive within you, then perhaps the journey is not only about calming the body, perhaps it is about returning to the source that designed this blueprint in the first place. Every day carries within it a silent choice to drift through stress as though it were an unstoppable tide, or to pause, breathe, and touch the quiet within. This daily practice is not about discipline in the harsh sense, nor about adding yet another obligation to your already full life. It is about remembering that at any moment, your body holds a doorway to calm, and your fingers know the key. Pressing that point on your wrist is less about technique and more about invitation. Each time you do it, you invite your nervous system to soften. You call your vagus nerve to awaken, and you remind your spirit that stillness is never far away. Imagine beginning your morning with this gesture before the noise of the world reaches you. You sit at the edge of your bed, the light still gentle, and you press the spot just below your palm. For a few breaths, your thoughts settle, your chest loosens, and a quiet sense of clarity moves through you. Already the day feels different, not because circumstances changed, but because you did. Throughout the day, you may return to it, when your shoulders grow heavy from tension, when your mind races with unfinished tasks, or when emotions swell louder than you'd like, you place your fingers there again. It becomes a private language, a silent signal to your body. You are safe, you can rest, and the more you repeat it, the faster your body remembers the path to calm. What was once a small exercise becomes a rhythm, weaving itself into the fabric of your daily life. With time, the change moves deeper than moments of relief. Your resilience strengthens. Stressful events that once overwhelmed you now feel softer, easier to move through. Your breathing deepens naturally, your sleep grows more restorative, and your heart begins to trust a new pattern, that peace can be chosen, not chased. This is how the future shifts, not in grand leaps, but in these small, repeated choices, one press, one breath, one pause at a time. And as these moments gather, they transform not just your mood, but the way you carry yourself through the world. If you stay faithful to this practice, you will see that calm is not a fleeting visitor. It becomes your companion. The wrist point, the breath, the vagus nerve, they are not just techniques. They are reminders that the power to change your inner state has always been in your hands. Quite literally, you have journeyed deep within yourself, and now it is time to gently return. Feel the weight of your body where you sit or lie. Notice the rhythm of your breath, soft and steady. The silence you entered has not disappeared. It has only settled deeper inside you, like a seed waiting to bloom. What you touched in these moments of stillness will not leave you. It is yours, carried in the pulse of your own wrist, in the quiet pathways of the vagus nerve that connect body and soul. Perhaps you feel lighter, as though a burden has been lifted. Or perhaps what you feel is subtler, like a gentle shift beneath the surface. Either way, something has awakened. Today was not simply about pressing a point on your wrist, it was about remembering. You remembered that the body is not just flesh and bone, but a map, a temple, a bridge between the seen and unseen. You remembered that wisdom is not only in ancient texts or modern science, but written already inside of you. The pressure of your own touch unlocked a doorway that has always been there. And now, imagine carrying this forward into your life. Tomorrow, when the world feels heavy, you will remember peace is just one touch away. On days when your chest tightens with worry, when your mind will not stop racing, you will know where to place your hand, and the calm will rise again. Slowly, small moments will weave together into lasting strength. The calm you find here will ripple outward to your family, to strangers you meet, even to the world itself. When you choose stillness, you give permission for others to remember theirs. So I leave you with a blessing. May your breath always guide you back home. May your heart stay open, even in the storms. May your body remember the sacred language. It speaks, a language older than words, and may this simple touch remind you that peace has never left. It has only been waiting for you to return. This practice is no longer just something you watched in a video. It is yours. Carry it as you would carry a precious key, knowing it can unlock calm whenever you need it. Each time you press that point, you're not only calming your body, you're choosing who you want to become. And now, before we close this circle, I ask you, what did you feel? Did you sense release, warmth, a quiet unfolding? Share it with me in the comments so we can walk this journey together. Your words may become the lantern that lights the path for someone else who listens after you. If this touched you, imagine what the next step can hold. Stay close to this space, the spine, gospel, and let's keep uncovering the sacred wisdom written inside the body. If you feel called, leave a super thanks, share this with someone you love, and most of all, carry this practice into your tomorrow. The portal is closing now, but not forever. It closes only to protect what you've gathered within, so that you may step forward lighter, calmer, and more awake. Until we meet again, walk gently, with your hand, your heart, and your breath as your guides.